In this video, I'm gonna help you understand what IBKR actually is and how to approach it as a new investor without over trading, without using features you don't understand, and without feeling like you need to be an expert. This is not a click-by-click trading tutorial. It is a beginner's guide to understanding the platform so you can use it with intention instead of stress. I'm Erin from Your Money Friend. Let's get into it. What IBKR actually is and who it's for. Just to be clear, this video is about understanding IBKR, not mastering every tool or placing trades. If you're not ready to click buttons yet, that is completely fine. Clarity comes first. Action comes later. Interactive Brokers is a more advanced investing platform. It gives you access to a lot of different markets like stocks, ETFs, options, and even markets outside the US all in one place. That's a good thing, but it's also why it can feel overwhelming when you first open it. IBKR is not built to walk you through every step or tell you what to do next. It assumes you want control and that you're okay making your own decisions. That's very different from some beginner apps that guide you through everything. One important thing to understand is that IBKR doesn't tell you how to invest. It gives you the tools and then waits for you to decide what you want to use it for. If you're investing for the long term, you might not be doing much on the platform day to day. If you're trying to learn, you can use it to understand how markets actually work. And if you're more experienced, it has more advanced tools when you're ready for them. Where people usually get stuck is thinking they need to use everything that they see. You don't. Just because something is there doesn't mean it's meant for you right now. IBKR isn't about doing more all the time. It's about having options and using them when they actually make sense for you. Once you see it that way, the platform feels a lot easier to deal with. Start with why, not buttons. Before you click anything or start looking through menus, you need to answer one simple question. What is this money for? A lot of people open IBKR and immediately start clicking around, but that's usually what makes it feel overwhelming. The platform makes a lot more sense once you know why you're using it. For most beginners, investing goals fall into a few basic categories. Some people are investing for the long term, like retirement or building wealth over time. Some people are working toward a medium-term goal, like buying a house or building flexibility. And some people are just trying to learn how investing works without risking too much money. You do not need to do all of these at the same time. Trying to do everything at once is usually what stresses people out on IBKR. Just pick one main goal to start with. That one decision makes everything else super simple. If you want to follow along, I'll link the Interactive Brokers homepage below and pull it up now so you can see what I mean. When you look at that page, think of it like a menu. It shows you everything that is available, not everything you're supposed to use. IBKR gives you access to almost everything, but your goal decides what actually matters. If you're investing for the long term, most of the trading tools won't be relevant right now. If you're learning, you might focus on just one market or one type of investment. The platform isn't telling you what to do, it's waiting for you to decide why you're here first. Match your goal to how you use IBKR. Now that you know why you're using IBKR, the next step is matching that goal to how you actually use the platform. This matters because IBKR doesn't change itself for you. It stays powerful the whole time, and whether it feels simple or overwhelming depends on how you use it. If your goal is long-term investing, your behavior should be pretty boring on purpose. You're not here to trade all the time or react to every market move. You're here to buy investments, hold them, and stay consistent over time. That means fewer trades, simpler positions, and less time watching charts. If your goal is learning, then the focus shifts a bit. You're paying attention to how orders work, how prices move, and how the platform behaves, but you're keeping the dollar amount small so mistakes don't hurt too much. Learning isn't about making money fast, it's about getting comfortable without blowing things up. And if your goal is income or flexibility, then different things start to matter. Fees matter, interest on cash matters, pricing matters. You're paying attention to how the platform works behind the scenes because those details affect your real results. Same platform, different goals, different behavior. When you look at the global market access section on IBKR, it can feel exciting because there are so many options, but access by itself doesn't make you a better investor. Your goal decides how much of that access you actually need to use. If you click the link below, it'll bring you to this part of the platform so you can see what I'm talking about. So this page isn't about trading, it's about how your account works behind the scenes. This is where IBKR shows you how pricing, fees, and money movement are handled, which matters more than people think. At the top of the page, you'll see information about commissions. When you open Learn About Commission, IBKR breaks down what you pay when you buy or sell different products. For most beginners investing in US stocks or ETFs, this usually means very low or even zero commissions. You don't need to memorize the details here. The important thing is understanding that costs exist and that trading too often is what usually makes them add up. And right below that, you'll see compare margin rates. So this explains borrowing money to invest. As a beginner, this is something you want to understand but not rushed into using. Knowing what margin is and choosing not to use it yet is a completely valid rule. On the right side of the page, you'll see information about interest on cash. This shows how money sitting in your account can earn interest instead of doing nothing. This matters more if your goal is flexibility or income, but it's still helpful to know how IBKR treats idle cash. You'll also see stock yield enhancement. This explains how IBKR can lend out shares you own and pay you a portion of the interest. This is optional and more advanced. As a beginner, this is something to be aware of, not something you need to turn on right away. If you scroll down, you see links like trading platforms, order types, research and news, and free trading tools. Each of these leads deeper into the platform. They're here to show what exists, not to tell you to use everything. This page supports one main idea. IBKR gives you a lot of control, but you decide how much of it you use. That's why rules matter more than features. Also, this screen is designed for active traders. It shows you a lot of information at once and it updates quickly. If you don't have a clear goal, this is where people start reacting instead of planning. You watch prices move, make small decisions that add up, and then you start feeling like you're behind or missing something. IBKR doesn't stop you here. It assumes that you're using this interface, you understand the risks. There are no guardrails built in to slow you down. That means the platform isn't protecting you. You have to protect yourself. This is why having simple personal rules matter more than any tool on IBKR. Rules like how often you invest, how much you put in at a time, and what you are not touching yet. Without those rules, this screen can pull you into constant action, even when action isn't helping you. For most beginners, good investing on IBKR looks pretty calm. You're not watching charts all day, you're not reacting to every move, you're using only the parts of the platform that support your goal and ignoring the rest. You're not avoiding advanced tools forever, you're just waiting to use them until they actually make sense for you. Now, once you understand what IBKR offers and what you're choosing not to use yet, the next step is setting a few simple rules for yourself. This part matters more than any feature on the platform. Your rules don't need to be complicated. They're basic things like how often you invest, how much you invest when you do, and which parts of IBKR you are not touching yet. When those decisions are made ahead of time, you stop feeling unsure every time you log in. You already know what you're there to do. Rules reduce emotion, and emotion is what usually causes investing mistakes. Things like over trading, panic selling, or chasing something you don't fully understand. IBKR does not reward activity for the sake of activity. It rewards patience and consistency. The tools on this platform will amplify whatever behavior you bring into it. If you have good rules, those get amplified. If you don't, bad habits get amplified too. That's why rules come first and tools come second. Confidence comes from simplicity. Here's something a lot of beginners don't realize when they first open IBKR. Some of the most successful investors on this platform trade infrequently. Their portfolios look boring on purpose. They're not glued to charts all day, and they're not reacting to every headline or price move. They've built structure around their money so they don't need to constantly manage it. They know their goal, they follow their rules, and they let time do most of the work. That's where confidence actually comes from, not from knowing every feature on IBKR, but from knowing what you don't need to touch just yet. When things are simple, it's easier to stay consistent, and when you stay consistent, that's when investing actually works. So if you take one thing away from this beginner's guide, let it be this. Using IBKR well is not about mastering every tool on the platform. It's about understanding what you're using it for and ignoring everything that doesn't support that specific goal. IBKR is powerful, but that doesn't mean you need to do more. It means you get to choose less on purpose. When your goal is clear, the platform feels simpler. When your rules are set, emotions get quieter. And when you stop trying to use everything, investing actually becomes something you can stick with. You don't need to watch charts all day. You just need a goal, a few simple rules, and the patience to stay consistent. I'm Erin from Your Money Friend. Thank you guys so much for watching. If this video helped, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.